1. Focus only on what you can control. Let's start with one of the most powerful Stoic principles: focus only on what's in your control. At first glance, it sounds simple, but when you actually apply it, it can transform how you experience stress, setbacks, and even everyday frustrations. But the Stoics taught us to draw a clear line. On one side are things we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our attitude. On the other side is everything else. The key to peace of mind, they believed, is to focus all our effort on the first category and let go of the rest. Take a work project, for example. You can control how much effort you put into preparing, your level of focus, and how you show up. But you can't fully control whether your boss praises it, or if the outcome meets everyone's expectations. The Stoic approach would say, do your best. And don't cling to what happens afterward. You handled what you could. That's enough. This mindset is rooted in the teaching of Epictetus, who famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Once you internalize this distinction, it changes the way you react to challenges. Instead of getting upset when something goes wrong, you ask, was this in my control? But Stoicism invites a different approach. You can't control their tone or opinion, but you can control your reaction. You can reflect calmly, consider if there's something useful to take from it, and either grow from the feedback, or let it go if it's just noise. To make this principle part of your life, try this. Create a control list when you're overwhelmed. Write down what's in your control and what isn't. Redirect your attention to the things you can influence. Practice acceptance. If something is outside your control, this shift can make you feel more empowered, even in tough situations. Let's apply this to something big, like a global crisis or economic downturn. You can't control the world, but you can control how you respond. You might focus on staying mentally healthy, helping others, building new skills, or managing your time better. But you can master your attitude, your choices, and your inner life. That's where peace and strength begin. 2. Do your best. Let go of the outcome. One of the most liberating lessons from Stoic philosophy is this: always do your best, but don't get emotionally tied to the outcome. That might sound counterintuitive. We naturally want to see results from our efforts. But the Stoics believe that true peace comes from focusing on what you can control: your effort, your attitude, and your preparation, not the final result. Think about how often we stress over outcomes we can't guarantee. You apply for a job and obsess over whether you'll get it. You pour your heart into a creative project and worry if people will like it. You go on a date and wonder if the other person will call back. All of that anxiety comes from placing your emotional well-being in the hands of factors outside your control. Epictetus taught that while we can shape our actions, the outcome is influenced by external forces, other people, timing, luck, even random events. The Stoic answer: give 100% of your focus to what's in your power and detach from the rest. Marcus Aurelius captured this mindset perfectly when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't about indifference. It's about wisdom. When you anchor your self-worth to your effort rather than the result, you gain freedom. Let's say you're preparing for a major exam. You study diligently, get enough sleep. Try, I will improve my skills and add more value. The first is outcome-based, the second is fully within your control. Celebrate effort, not just results. Acknowledge your hard work, regardless of how things turn out. Detach from praise or judgment. Whether others notice your effort or not, your integrity stays intact. It becomes a source of feedback, not a personal attack. For example, if you start a business that doesn't succeed, it's tempting to feel like you failed. But from a Stoic view, what matters is that you committed, tried your best, and learned something. That's growth. Let's apply it to job interviews. You prepare thoroughly, practice your responses. Show up on time, and still don't get the offer. It's easy to question your worth. But the Stoic response is, you did what you could. Maybe the employer had someone else in mind already. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Your value doesn't change because of an outcome you never controlled. So why is letting go of outcomes so powerful? You reduce anxiety. No more obsessing over things you can't change. You build confidence. You know you gave it your best, and that's enough. You develop resilience. When outcomes disappoint. In a world obsessed with success and results, the Stoic mindset is radical and freeing. It says, be excellent in what you do, but don't make your peace of mind depend on whether you win or lose. So the next time you're working on something meaningful, a personal goal, a relationship, a career dream, put your full heart into it. Then, take a breath, step back. Self-discipline isn't optional, it's essential. Without it, goals fall apart, habits fade, and progress stalls the moment motivation disappears. But with it, you unlock the ability to stay consistent. Push through resistance, and make steady progress even when things get tough. Here's the truth, motivation is unpredictable. One day you're fired up, the next you feel flat. That's normal. The Stoics never relied on feelings to determine their actions. Instead, they leaned on discipline, a deliberate choice to do what's right, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That captures the Stoic view perfectly. It's what gets you out of bed early to build something meaningful, to train your body, or to study when you'd rather relax. It's doing the hard thing because the hard thing leads to growth. So how do you build self-discipline into your daily life? Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire routine overnight. Focus on one habit, like waking up 15 minutes earlier or journaling for 5 minutes a day. Build momentum from there. Establish routines. Discipline thrives on structure. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food around. Remember your why. When discipline feels hard, reconnect with the bigger picture. Why did you start? What's at stake if you quit? Let's bring this to life with a common example, sticking to a workout plan. At first, it's exciting, you feel pumped. But after a few weeks, that buzz fades. Now it's cold outside. Your muscles ache, and Netflix sounds better than push-ups. That's when discipline steps in and says, show up anyway. You might not feel like it, but you'll feel proud after doing it. It's to learn, adjust, and get back on track. One missed workout or unproductive day doesn't define you. What matters is how quickly you return to your path. Dealing with procrastination. The Stoics would say, start anyway. A great trick is the 5-minute rule, commit to doing something for just 5 minutes. Often, that's enough to build momentum and keep going. Getting started is the hardest part. Once you begin, discipline can carry you. Here's what practicing self-discipline brings into your life. More productivity. Following through builds self-trust, you begin to believe in your own reliability. Long-term success. Whether in health, career, or personal growth, discipline is the engine behind achievement. In short, self-discipline is your superpower. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up, again and again, even when you don't feel like it. The Stoics didn't chase motivation. They cultivated discipline, knowing that consistency, not bursts of energy, is what leads to real change. So next time you're tempted to quit early, skip your practice. Or push something off, just one more day, pause. Then act, not on how you feel, but on who you want to become. 4. Accept and learn from failure. Failure. Just hearing the word can stir up anxiety. We're conditioned to avoid it, hide from it, or see it as something shameful. But the Stoics saw failure differently, not as the end, but as one of life's greatest teachers. If you want to grow, Improve, and truly do your best, you have to make peace with failure. In fact, you have to embrace it. The Stoics believe that setbacks are essential for building strength, resilience, and wisdom. But what if we flip the script? What if failure is simply feedback? A signal pointing to what didn't work, so you can adjust, grow, and move forward smarter than before. Let's say you've been working hard toward a promotion, but someone else gets the job. It's disappointing. The instinct might be to feel rejected or defeated. But the Stoic approach is different. But your response isn't. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Stoics weren't against emotion, they just believed that emotion shouldn't drive your decisions. When failure hits, it's okay to feel disappointment. But don't stay stuck there. Learn from it. Use it. Here's how to put that into practice. Reframe failure as feedback. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" ask, "What did this teach me?" Own your part, without self-blame. Take responsibility for what went wrong, but don't turn it into a personal attack. You failed at something, you are not a failure. Adapt your approach. Don't repeat the same mistake. Learn, adjust. And try again with better insight. A real-life example. Starting a business. You pour your energy into an idea, but it doesn't take off. Instead of labeling yourself a failure, ask. Failure also teaches you resilience. Every time you get knocked down and get back up, you prove to yourself that you're capable of surviving the storm. You don't become fragile, you become stronger. You open the door to bigger goals and bolder moves. You grow faster. Every failure reveals gaps in your knowledge or approach, and helps you close them. You overcome perfectionism. If you expect perfection, failure feels catastrophic. But if you expect growth, failure becomes part of the journey. You stop fearing judgment. People will always have opinions. But Stoics remind us, their thoughts are outside your control. What you do with failure, that's what matters. Letting go of the need to be perfect is one of the most liberating Stoic moves. Life isn't about always getting things right. It's about constantly learning, adjusting, and leveling up. Even the most skilled musician hits wrong notes. Even the best athletes lose games. How can I grow because of this? That's what the Stoics did. And that's how you build a life filled with strength, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. 5. Focus on the present moment. In today's world, the Stoics believe that one of the secrets to peace and clarity is learning to live fully in the now. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most famous voices, said simply, "Confine yourself to the present." That advice might sound basic, but it's life-changing when you actually practice it. The past is already gone. The future hasn't arrived. All your power lies in what you do right now. Think about it, how much time do you spend worrying about things that haven't even happened yet? Or regretting things you can't go back and fix? Your current moment might be sitting at your desk, sipping coffee. The stress comes not from the event, but from your thoughts about it. That's what Epictetus meant when he said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." So how do you actually stay present? Use your senses. One of the fastest ways to return to the moment is by noticing what you can see, hear, touch, taste, or smell. Sensory awareness pulls you out of your head and back into reality. Breathe deeply. A few intentional deep breaths can anchor your attention and calm your racing thoughts. Do one thing at a time. In a world obsessed with multitasking, try single tasking. When you eat, just eat. When you're talking to someone, really listen. When you work, give it your full focus. Here's a real-life scenario: you're at work and overwhelmed with deadlines, emails, and meetings. Instead of spiraling into stress about everything at once, the Stoic approach would be to zero in on just one task. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do right now? Then do that. Or a meaningful conversation, become richer when you're actually there for them. Better relationships. When you're present with others, they feel it. You listen better, connect more deeply. And build stronger trust. One of the hardest parts of staying in the now is letting go of regrets or worries. Maybe you made a mistake last week or you're nervous about an upcoming decision. The Stoics would remind you, the past cannot be changed, and the future is unknowable. What matters is this moment. What can you do now that helps you move forward with clarity and purpose? Even simple daily routines, like washing the dishes, walking the dog, or eating lunch, can become mindful practices. Next time you eat, try putting your phone away and focusing only on the food. Notice the texture, the flavor, the temperature. Being present even in these little moments adds depth to your life. The Stoic truth is this: now is all you ever really have. So the next time your mind races toward what's gone or what might be, pause. Take a breath. Come back to now. That's where life is waiting. 6. Focus on your actions. Not the opinions of others. Let's be honest, most of us care a lot about what people think. Whether it's how we look, what career we choose, or how we express ourselves. The opinions of others often weigh heavily on our decisions. But the Stoics saw this as a trap. They taught that peace and personal power come when you stop chasing approval and start focusing on what you can control, your actions. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me." We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. That hits hard, because it's true. We constantly look outward for validation instead of looking inward for direction. And the more we do that, the more we hand over our happiness to other people. Or switching careers, all because someone might disapprove. The Stoic mindset says, if your actions are aligned with your principles, that's enough. Let people think what they want. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to live a life of purpose. Let's take a simple example. You decide to start working out and eating healthier. You're proud of the changes. But your friends tease you or say you won't stick with it. The insecure path is to give up. The Stoic path is to keep going, knowing their opinions are out of your control, but your discipline is not. Here's how to shift your mindset. Remind yourself what's in your control. Other people's thoughts. Not in your control. Your actions. Totally in your hands. Live by your values. Get clear on what matters to you. When your actions align with your values, you won't need outside approval. Accept that you can't please everyone. No matter what you do. Some people will disapprove. Let that be okay. A bigger example, switching careers. Let's say you work in finance but have a real passion for photography. You're thinking about taking the leap. But your family and friends think it's risky or unrealistic. The Stoic response. Listen respectfully, but trust yourself. It's your life, not theirs. You can't control their opinions. But you can control the effort, planning, and mindset you bring to your journey. Once you stop obsessing over what others think, several amazing things start to happen. You gain confidence. When your decisions come from within, you feel grounded and clear, even if others don't get it. You feel free. You're no longer living to meet someone else's expectations. That's real freedom. You reduce stress. Constantly trying to please people is exhausting. Letting that go brings relief. Your relationships improve. When you stop performing and start being authentic. You connect with people on a deeper level. Criticism will always be part of life. The Stoics didn't ignore it, but they didn't let it control them either. If feedback is valid, they welcomed it as a tool for growth. If it was just noise, they let it go. Their self-worth didn't rise and fall with public opinion. In a world ruled by likes, follows, and outside approval, Choosing to stay rooted in your own values is a radical act. But it's also the path to genuine self-respect. So the next time you find yourself worrying, what will they think? Pause and ask instead, am I doing what's right? Am I being true to myself? If the answer is yes, then keep going. The opinions of others don't define you, your actions do. 7. Embrace change. It's the only constant. If there's one thing in life you can count on, it's change. Things shift, sometimes slowly, sometimes overnight. Your relationships evolve, your career path takes turns. Your priorities transform. The Stoics recognized this truth early on and built their entire mindset around it. Instead of resisting change, embrace it. Because when you fight what's inevitable, you suffer. But when you accept it, you grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it." Change isn't just something that happens to you, it's part of what shapes you. Whether it's losing a job, ending a relationship, or entering a new season of life. Change offers an invitation to adapt, evolve, and strengthen your character. The problem? We often fear change because it brings uncertainty. We like to feel in control, to know what's coming next. But as the Stoics teach, certainty is an illusion. You can't predict everything, and you definitely can't control everything. What you can do is respond wisely, flexibly, and with courage. It's a transition. A new door is opening. Maybe you'll pursue a long-postponed passion, learn new skills, or find a role that fits you better. The loss becomes the launch pad. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgment about them." In other words, change only feels scary if you believe it's a threat. But what if you saw it as an opportunity? Fighting that truth only creates resistance. Focus on what's in your control. You may not control the change itself, but you do control your attitude, your response, and the next steps you take. Reframe the situation. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I grow from this?" That small shift changes everything. Consider a big move to a new city. You're leaving behind friends, routines, and comfort. Naturally, it feels intimidating. But viewed through a Stoic lens, it's a chance to meet new people, discover new perspectives, and expand your world. Growth rarely happens in your comfort zone, change is what forces it. The benefits of embracing change are powerful. You become more adaptable. When change doesn't shake you, you stay steady while others panic. You build resilience. Every time you face change with strength, you prove to yourself that you can handle anything. You discover new opportunities. Sometimes the best things in life are on the other side of disruption. You suffer less. Much of our pain comes from clinging to the past or fearing the future. Embracing change helps you release both. Another reason we resist change. We're attached to what was. Maybe it's a former identity, an old job, or a version of life that once felt perfect. But the Stoics remind us that clinging to the past can become a form of self-imposed suffering. What's gone is gone. You can honor it, but you can't live there. You don't have to like every change. But you can learn from every one. So the next time life shifts beneath your feet, whether expected or not, pause. Breathe. Then ask, what can I control right now? What can this teach me? If you stay open, change won't just challenge you, it will transform you. 8. Build inner strength through adversity. Life isn't meant to be smooth all the time, and the Stoics wouldn't have it any other way. To them, adversity wasn't something to avoid. It was something to lean into. Why? Because hard times shape us. They test our character, reveal our values, and build the kind of strength you can't develop when life is easy. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That quote captures the Stoic belief that obstacles aren't barriers, they're building blocks. The very thing that seems like it's holding you back might actually be pushing you forward. Think about it, when have you grown the most in your life? It probably wasn't during your most comfortable moments. It was during heartbreak, failure, uncertainty, or loss. Those moments hurt. Epictetus put it plainly, difficulties are things that show a person who they are. When everything is going well, it's easy to be calm and confident. But when the storm hits, that's when you find out what you're truly made of. Let's say you face a major setback, like losing a client, missing out on an opportunity, or going through a breakup. Here's how to build inner strength during tough times. Face the challenge directly. Don't run from hardship. Look it in the eye. Denial only delays growth. Control your response. Say you're going through financial hardship. The stress is real. But instead of spiraling, the Stoic mindset invites you to act. What expenses can you cut? What skills can you build? What can you learn from this struggle that will help you prevent it in the future? Stoicism doesn't teach you to pretend everything's fine. You develop resilience. Each time you endure a challenge and bounce back, your mental armor gets stronger. You gain confidence. When you realize you can survive difficulty, you become less afraid of future setbacks. You grow wiser. Hard times teach life lessons that books and comfort never could. You appreciate the good more deeply. Pain teaches you to savor peace, joy, and progress when they come. Adversity also trains emotional control. The Stoics weren't emotionless, but they practiced emotional mastery. When you're angry, scared, or frustrated, the key is to pause. Respond instead of react. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Even something as painful as heartbreak or loss can become a turning point. Maybe it teaches you about boundaries, or self-worth, or what truly matters in a partner. Maybe it pushes you to rediscover your own strength and independence. The pain is real, but so is the growth. The Stoic truth is simple, you don't grow despite adversity, you grow because of it. The tougher the trial, the deeper the lesson. And with every challenge you endure, you gain the quiet strength to handle the next one with greater wisdom and courage. So the next time life knocks you down, remember this moment isn't here to destroy you, it's here to develop you. Stand up. Learn something. Move forward stronger than before. 9. Practice gratitude even in difficult times. Gratitude is easy when life is going well, when you're winning, when your plans are working, when things feel in sync. But the Stoics believe that real gratitude shows up when things are hard. When life tests you, drains you, disappoints you, that's when the habit of gratitude becomes most powerful. And most necessary. We all go through moments that feel heavy. Maybe it's financial stress, personal loss, career setbacks, or emotional struggles. During those times, it's tempting to focus on everything that's going wrong. But the Stoics taught that even in suffering, there's always something you can appreciate. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." In other words, don't obsess over what's missing. Instead, shift your attention to what's still there. Even in darkness, there are sparks of light, if you choose to look for them. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It means recognizing the good that still exists, even amid the chaos. That perspective won't erase your problems, but it gives you the emotional space to handle them with clarity and strength. Let's say you're stuck in a job you dislike. The Stoic practice isn't to deny your dissatisfaction, but to acknowledge what's still worth appreciating. Maybe it's the income that supports your family. Maybe it's the chance to learn new skills. That mindset doesn't trap you in complacency, it empowers you to grow from a place of strength, not resentment. So how can you practice gratitude? Especially when it's hard? Start with the basics. When life feels overwhelming, go back to the fundamentals: your health, your breath, a roof over your head, someone who cares about you. These are things worth appreciating every single day. Make it a daily habit. Try writing down 3 things you're grateful for each morning or evening. Over time, your brain will start scanning for the positive, even during tough seasons. Look for the lesson. Gratitude isn't just for pleasant things. Sometimes it's being thankful for the struggle, because of what it's teaching you about patience, resilience, or self-discovery. Here's a powerful example: loss. Losing someone you love is one of the hardest experiences anyone can face. But the Stoics would invite you to honor the pain, and then also reflect: what did this person give you? How did they shape your life? Focusing on the love, the memories, and the lessons creates space for healing, without denying the grief. Gratitude in adversity leads to big internal shifts. Improved mental health. Gratitude helps reduce stress, anxiety, and depressive thoughts by gently guiding your focus toward what's still good. More resilience. When you can stay grateful in tough times, you're harder to break. You don't just survive, you adapt and stay grounded. Stronger relationships. Gratitude deepens connection. When you appreciate others, even during conflict, it builds empathy and trust. A more optimistic mindset. Gratitude rewires your thinking. You begin to expect goodness, even in difficulty. Instead of bracing for the worst. Letting go of negativity isn't always easy. In hard times, your brain naturally zooms in on the problem. But the Stoics remind us: control your reactions, not the events. One of the most empowering Stoic truths is this: you may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. Life is full of surprises, challenges, and things that don't go your way. But instead of wasting energy trying to control everything outside of you, Stoicism teaches you to master your inner world. Epictetus said it simply: we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. That's the heart of Stoic strength, not in trying to bend the world to your will, but in learning how to stay steady no matter what the world throws at you. Think of 2 people facing the exact same event, say, losing a job. One becomes angry, bitter, and paralyzed by fear. The other accepts the situation, reflects calmly, and starts planning their next move. What's the difference? Not the event itself, but the response. Your reaction is your power. You don't control the traffic jam, but you can choose not to lose your temper in it. You don't control someone else's criticism, but you can choose whether to take it constructively or let it go. This mindset doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you respond with awareness and intention rather than with blind reactivity. Here's how to put that into practice. Pause before reacting. When something triggers you, take a moment. Breathe. That tiny pause gives you a chance to choose your response instead of being ruled by impulse. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If the answer is no, shift your focus inward, toward your thoughts, attitude, and actions. Reframe the situation. Instead of thinking, this is the worst thing ever, try, this is hard. But I can handle it. That mental shift changes how you experience it. Take the example of receiving harsh feedback at work. Your first instinct might be to feel defensive or embarrassed. But what if you paused and asked, is there something useful in this? If yes, great, you've learned something. If not, you can move on without letting it ruin your day. Either way, you stay in control. The benefits of mastering your reactions are huge. Less stress. You stop getting worked up about things you can't influence. Stronger relationships. When you respond calmly, you avoid unnecessary arguments and miscommunication. Greater resilience. You recover from setbacks faster because you're not emotionally wrecked by them. Real inner peace. You feel more stable and centered, no matter what's going on around you. One major obstacle to this mindset is the human desire to control everything. We want things to go a certain way. And when they don't, we get frustrated. But the Stoics remind us that trying to control the uncontrollable is a recipe for stress. The more you let go of needing everything to be perfect, the more peace you'll feel. A helpful trick is to practice responding, not reacting. Reacting is automatic, it's yelling in traffic, snapping at someone, or spiraling into anxiety. Responding is deliberate, it's taking a breath, thinking clearly, and choosing the best course of action. For example, someone cuts you off in traffic. A reaction: honk, yell, stew in anger. A response: take a breath, realize you're still safe, and let it go. That choice may seem small, but it shapes your entire day, and your emotional health. In the Stoic view. So next time life throws you a curveball, ask yourself, can I control this? If not, shift your focus inward. Respond with wisdom, not emotion. Because your greatest strength isn't changing what happens, it's changing how you show up. 11. Stay humble and avoid ego traps. In a world that constantly encourages self-promotion, standing out, and proving yourself, humility can feel like a forgotten virtue. But for the Stoics, humility wasn't weakness, it was a sign of wisdom and inner strength. They saw ego not as a badge of pride, but as a trap that can cloud judgment, sabotage growth, and pull you off course. Epictetus warned, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. That's the danger of ego. When you think you've got it all figured out, you stop listening, stop learning, and start assuming. And once you stop learning, you stop growing. The Stoics believed that no matter how successful, powerful, or respected you become, you should remain grounded in reality. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome and a practicing Stoic, regularly reminded himself that fame is fleeting. That's real strength, knowing your value without needing constant validation. Ego, on the other hand, is loud. It wants recognition, applause, control. It resists feedback and overestimates itself. And worst of all, it makes you blind to your own limitations, until life humbles you. So how do you keep your ego in check and stay humble? Keep learning. No matter how far you've come, there's always more to understand. Stay curious. Ask questions. Stay open to new perspectives. Listen more than you speak. The benefits of humility go far beyond personal growth. Better decisions. Humility helps you assess situations with a clear head, not through the filter of pride or overconfidence. Stronger relationships. People are drawn to those who are genuine, grounded, and open, not arrogant or self-important. More resilience. When ego isn't involved, failure feels like feedback, not personal devastation. Deeper respect. True respect is earned through character and consistency, not through loud self-promotion. Success is often when ego gets loudest, so the Stoics practiced reminding themselves that everything external, status, money, praise, is temporary. What lasts is your character. So whether you're winning or struggling, humility keeps you centered. It keeps you honest. It keeps you free. Another ego trap. Constantly needing approval. Whether it's likes, compliments, or recognition, the more you rely on others to validate you, the more power you give away. Epictetus said it well, the nature of the ignorant is to see themselves as wise, and of the wise to see themselves as ignorant. Translation. The truly wise know they're still students of life. So when success comes, enjoy it, but stay grounded. When you're praised, accept it, but don't let it define you. And when you're criticized, stay open, but not shattered. Let humility be your anchor in every high and low. Because in the Stoic view, humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's thinking about yourself less, and staying focused on what matters most, your actions, your values, and your growth. 12. Practice patience. Good things take time. In an age of instant gratification, same-day shipping, on-demand entertainment, fast everything, patience feels outdated. But to the Stoics, patience wasn't just a virtue. It was a strategy for success. They knew that anything truly meaningful, whether it's mastering a skill, growing as a person, or building a fulfilling life, takes time. We often want results now. We start a project and expect quick wins. We chase goals and get discouraged when progress is slow. But the Stoics remind us that life moves at its own pace, not ours. Marcus Aurelius said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. It requires you to stand firm and be ready for the unexpected." That's patience in action. Staying grounded even when things don't move as fast as you'd like. Think about any major achievement in your life. Did it happen overnight? Probably not. Most worthwhile goals, career success, deep relationships, physical health, inner peace, are the result of consistent effort over time. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus from speed to steadiness. You expect it to take time. This perspective reduces frustration and helps you stay focused. Adjust your expectations. When you expect instant results, you invite constant disappointment. Patience is choosing long-term satisfaction over short-term pleasure. Imagine you're learning a new skill, like playing an instrument or starting a side business. The first few weeks might feel slow. You might stumble, feel awkward, or doubt yourself. But the Stoics would encourage you to keep going. No great thing is created suddenly. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly. Any more than a bunch of grapes or a figure. If you tell me you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time." His point? Nature doesn't rush, and neither should you. Patience brings powerful benefits. Less stress. You stop rushing, stop comparing, and start allowing life to unfold naturally. Greater resilience. When progress is slow or setbacks come. But the Stoics warn us, shortcuts often cost more in the long run. Real change, real mastery, real transformation, that takes time. Another challenge. The fear that we're falling behind. The Stoic path is not about rushing, it's about becoming. So next time you feel frustrated by slow progress, remind yourself, the seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. Keep watering. Keep showing up. Growth is happening, even if you can't see it yet. Patience is not passivity. It's quiet strength. It's trusting that consistent effort, done with care, will eventually lead to something worthwhile. As the Stoics would say, endure. Stay the course. Trust the process. Good things don't come fast, they come from staying committed long enough to let them take root.